The New York Rangers are one of the top teams in the entire NHL, but that doesn't mean they don't have some big issues that they definitely need to fix before this team goes into the playoffs. So let's take a look here at those issues and kind of break those down and potentially how the Rangers could fix them. Starting off here with the pretty obvious one that's been a pretty big issue for a while now. The past few years, it has been the 5-on-5 scoring. The Rangers do have one of the best power plays in the entire NHL, which obviously is really great to see. But the other issue is this team is not great at 5-on-5 scoring. Right now, they are currently ranked 21st in goals for at 5-on-5, which honestly is not good enough for a team who does have aspirations of competing for a Stanley Cup. So one thing that the Rangers could definitely look to add at this year's deadline, I think, is a good right winger. Now, I think right now I would like to see at least Brendan Othmann, the rookie, get a chance up there on that top line. We know Blake Wheeler hasn't been the best. We do need more 5-on-5 scoring, and I do think adding in a different right winger up there instead of Blake Wheeler on that top line alongside Zibanejad and Kreider would be really beneficial for this team. And I think putting Brendan Othmann up there, at least giving him a shot, would be a pretty smart idea. I mean, I would love to see that happen. I think he's had a lot of talent. He does have top line upside, so why not give him a shot here? And if he doesn't obviously work out, then whatever. You can put him back down to the third line or send him back down if he has to. But I would really like to see, at least for a few games. Don't just give him one game. Give him a few games here to really see what he can do on that top line. Give him a lot of ice time and just really see what he can do. Because I do think Othmann can probably do a better job than what Blake Wheeler has done so far. Unfortunately, he has taken a much bigger step back than I originally thought he would. But taking a look here, like I said, the Rangers are ranked 21st in goals for at 5-on-5, which is not the best. They have 78, right behind teams like, Ottawa, LA, the Flyers, Leafs, Minnesota. Not the best teams in the world there. So it does kind of suck. I mean, the Leafs are obviously a good team there. They're not doing too good 5-on-5 scoring either. But the point is the Rangers need to be better at 5-on-5 scoring. That is an issue. That's been an issue for a while now. So hopefully they can obviously figure that out. But taking a look at all situations, 5-on-5, 5-on-4, whatever it is, all situations, goals for the New York Rangers. Right now, they're currently sitting in 11th place with 128, right behind teams like Edmonton, Vegas, Toronto. I mean, those are some pretty solid teams there. So overall goals for the Rangers are in a fine spot. I mean, not the best, not top 10, but right just outside there. I mean, it's only one goal back of three teams above them. So they're not doing too bad at all. Pretty much in the top 10, which isn't too bad. Obviously, you'd like to see the offense being a little better, and they have kind of had their moments when they've been obviously dominant and have other moments when they can't find the back of the net. But that's hockey. You're going to have your good and bad games. But overall, I think this team needs to be a little more consistent at 5-on-5 scoring especially, which I think adding in a guy like Elias Lindholm could really help with that. He's been a pretty consistent 60, 70 to a point per game kind of guy over most of his career, at least the last while. So I think he'd be a really good addition and a guy who can help at the 5-on-5 scoring, help be just a really good two-way forward and also be that 3C or that top line right wing that we need. We need another center in here, and we could also use a winger. Maybe that winger is Othmann that we throw up on the top line there. You're bringing back Blake Wheeler to that third line alongside like Cooley and Lindholm. That could be a decent third line there. Have some scoring, have a bit of grit as well. A good two-way game, especially in Elias Lindholm and Cooley. So I think this would really round out this team, providing a lot of good depth up front, and having a guy like Othmann up top there could be a really nice move alongside Zibanejad and Kreider, and it would just provide so much more depth for this team. And we also do have guys like Kakko and Hedl who could come back at some point this season, but how good are they going to be coming back after missing so much time? And obviously Kakko didn't have the best start to the year in the first place, so is he going to come back and be a top six kind of guy, or is he going to be more of a bottom six kind of guy? I would lean towards probably being a bottom six guy. Now, hopefully he can bounce back, and when he comes back, he obviously can go up to the top line potentially and be a great player. But what we saw from him at the start of this year wasn't too great, so I'm not banking on him being a top six guy once he returns. And then Philip Hedl, we don't know if he is or isn't going to return. I mean, it seems like Kakko more than likely will at some point this year as he started to skate again. But then there's Hedl, obviously he went back over to Czechia, so we're going to have to wait and see with him. I have no idea whether he is or isn't going to play. We'll have to wait and see. I'm leaning towards he's probably not, but you never know. Things can definitely change, and we still have a ways away to go before the playoffs. So we'll see what happens, but I do think this team definitely needs to add a center in for sure, and a guy like Elias Lindholm could be a great add. And the last thing I wanted to touch on here in this video is when the Rangers are in their own zone, when they're being pressured or forechecked, the Rangers have made a ton of mistakes defensively, not being able to clear the puck, not being able to make that breakout pass, or just get the puck out of their zone. They've been turning it over, and it has directly led to multiple goals in a bunch of games. You take a look at the most recent game against Montreal. pretty much all three of those goals were caused from the Rangers not being able to clear it, turning it over in the defensive zone. And that's why at the deadline, I would like to see the Rangers add in a very solid forward as well as a really good defensive defenseman who's just going to be a really reliable D-man. He's not going to make a bunch of mistakes in the defensive zone. He's going to really clear the puck, make the breakout pass, and just be a good defensive defenseman. It doesn't really matter what he's doing in the offensive zone as long as we can bring in a guy who's going to be solid defensively, which is the exact type of D-man that I think we need to add in come playoff time. I don't think Zach Jones is the guy to be our seventh D-man. I think we need more of a defensive guy, a veteran guy who's been around for a while now, has a lot of experience, and can just be a really reliable defensive defenseman. Zach Jones is a fine player, but right now I don't think he's good enough to be that seventh D-man come playoff time, especially when we know we need a more defensive guy. Zach Jones will more than likely be a liability, like defensively in his own zone. So I think adding in a more defensive guy could be a really smart move for the Rangers to have as their seventh D-man, or even to have maybe paired alongside Schneider come playoff time if they want to take Gustafsson out, which maybe it happens. I mean, we never know. I think Gus has been great this year, but he's definitely had his moments where he has been not great defensively. So maybe they do come playoff time want to add in a more defensive guy alongside Schneider. But either way, I do think that adding in a more defensive defenseman as that seventh D-man would be a very smart move for the Rangers come the playoffs. Anyways, though, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please smash the like button. Don't forget to comment down below your guys' thoughts on this video. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content.